Welcome to Coaching Uncut, a special series on the Unstoppable Woman podcast, where I take you behind the scenes and give you a peek into the private coaching I do with my clients. All of these coaching calls have been recorded with the permission from my clients who have generously allowed me to share these with you as a way of helping more people in this world. They give you access to master level coaching and the opportunity to learn the lessons that they're learning right along with them. Please keep in mind that these recordings are not studio productions and the audio quality may be less than ideal, but the content will take you far and help you become unstoppable. With that, listen in and learn.
Hello, how are you?
I am amazing today.
I love that. Congratulations.
I am still batting 1,000% on sales this week.
Woo-hoo!
I had a document review consultation. That person paid me my hourly rate of $450 to go over documents with her. That within 15 minutes, I had her sold for a $5,600 plan, which was amazing. I had conversations. I actually wrote it in our Spirit of Wealth group, but I have had conversations, which looks like a really promising business opportunity, about working with my own personal wealth advisor in Michigan that I've known for, like 15 years. Him and his partner went out on their own about 18 months ago, and they decided that they need an attorney that treats clients the same way that they treat clients. So we are right now talking about a referral relationship. And of course, I'm licensed in both the states of Michigan as well as Georgia. So in by second quarter, I might be a multi-state law office.
I love it. Fantastic.
So it's been really good. And what's so funny is I was sitting down trying to do homework, and I'm going, I can't stop smiling right now to do the homework. The whole why, But anyway, so that's what's going on. Positives. I know that when I was doing the homework, I would say the biggest things I think that are giving me my worry and what I can do to be focusing on them is really policy, procedure, and positions within my firm for the financial part. As for the personal, I think that it's all just continued communication, which my husband and I have always had pretty good communication, but at some point I want him to have a better understanding of the firm and the firm's finances, but I don't want to stress him out on it at the same time. But I think part of the friction that I have is I have worry with the firm that I'm not sharing with him because I don't want him to freak out about the numbers in the firm. But that's not fair to him.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit more.
Okay.
So, is the firm his responsibility? No. Okay,
no.
It's your responsibility.
Yes, it is.
But are you saying that when you come home in the evening, you're not able to connect with him because you feel like you're holding secrets or you can't talk transparently about what's going on? Like, you want his support, but you can't speak about it because you don't want to speak out.
At times, yes. The other times, what just ends up happening, and this is when I think it's most frustrating, which I can appreciate, is I go to work at 7, I come home around 7 p.m., we eat, we sit down, in front of the TV just to watch a show or something, and I'm asleep in 5 minutes. And that's what drives him the most insane.
Yeah.
And so that's,
okay. So then I think we need to do some triage a little bit on helping you be able to step out of the work world sooner so you have more energy and resilience so that when you come home, you're not just about to crash out at, 8:45 at night. Okay?
Yeah.
though I am an early to rise person, I'm
100%.
I'm in bed at 9:30. I'm like, see ya, bye.
Yeah.
So I think, so here's the challenge. It's not his baby. So if you're coming home and you're bringing the financials to the table, that doesn't work, right? Because he can't do anything about it, okay? And if it's just free-floating anxiety that you need to share, you need to be able to share that but not put a burden on him, okay?
How do you do that?
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that in a minute.
Okay, sorry.
We can definitely talk about that. But if you feel like, actually, I just need to keep doing what I'm doing, and what I need to do is figure out how to clean up my work life, i.e. the policies and procedures, so that things are streamlined, right?
Uh-huh.
So that I can leave earlier and be more present, or go to a yoga class so that you've cleared your mind and then you can have dinner and you're not just wiped, okay?
Yes.
Everyone has a different amount of downtime that's required to shift gears and feel refreshed again. For me, it's taking a walk with the dog, right? It's my end of day ritual that helps me shift. So I want you to start looking at, you mentioned policies and procedures and around the financial stuff as well. What do you feel like is taking so much of your energy right now? And you don't have to share it with me today. We can talk about it tomorrow. But we need to look at what policies, what procedures, what things are really, and we need to put them in order, okay? Heaven loves order, okay?
Yes.
Like, okay, you don't have to do everything today, but we need to put them in some order. So you need to look at what, and I'm going to be very direct, you don't need to turn to for this, okay? This is your business. You need to figure out, like, okay, what's actually taking up a huge amount of bandwidth right now? Is it hiring? Is it HR stuff? Is it follow-up with clients? Like, what is it that's taking up the most amount of time? And then let's do some troubleshooting around that, okay?
Love it.
Okay. I bet you actually know what needs to be done.
I kind of do, because I know what, and this is where I say I use the term policies and procedures in a roundabout way, but what takes my time is everybody just needs 30 seconds of my time. 30 seconds of my time.
So we have office
30
hours.
seconds of my time.
So no, that doesn't happen, okay? So if it needs to be twice a day, we'll set it up twice a day. But like as of tomorrow, you have office hours, okay? Which means if you have a question, please come to me between 12 and 12:30, or between 4 and 4:30, right? And those are the two times where people can talk to you. And then we're going to get it down to one time, okay? But it can't be, I mean, you don't want to be the bottleneck. But you need to track what kinds of questions people are asking and make sure everyone understands what needs to happen, right? You need to have a place where they can get information. And so if they're coming to you with questions, you need to figure out where that gets documented so that you're not answering that question again and again and again, especially when someone leaves and, there's a replacement person, okay? Yes. But you cannot be in constant interruption. It just does not work. Okay?
Agreed.
Okay, so you figure out what the times are. I don't care what the times are. Whatever works best for your company. Like maybe people need to ask you things first thing in the morning. I don't know. Okay? But you figure out what those times are, and then you say, hold all your questions and then come at this time. And some people like to do it like a quick 5-minute, 10-minute check-in with each person. Some people like to do it, everyone comes, whoever has an answer, and that works really well for their business because everyone's kind of working on similar things. And if one person has a question, it helps other people know, right? You answer that question. Okay, so you have to decide, what the what the time is, okay? What does it look like, okay?
Okay. Can I ask you one more quick question, because I know we're coming up to the end of my 15 minutes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So for these people that are documenting the answers, you know, now, because there was a point where I was trying to do this for helping her with operations. And one of the things that I started to notice, I was trying to keep I'll call it a QA bank, but it wasn't overly functional for the purposes of isolation out of the question. You know, I was trying to isolate it out like, these are all probate questions, these are all estate planning questions, or et cetera.
What kind of questions are we talking about? What are people asking you that you want to, like, give me an example of one, like a specific kind of question.
Okay, so today it was questions about whether the IRS or Medicaid be placing liens on properties of decedents based that has not been transferred into their probate estate.
Oh, so these are actual legal questions.
These are most of these are, legal questions. Yeah, there's, some handlings like, hey, like today was, we just got called that the fax is not working. What should we do? Well, call, sit down and see if the fax number's picking up when you call on your cell, and then maybe call our IT people and tell them to do a test. Some of the stuff, I'm just sitting down and I'm just going, guys, you guys have independent thought. Use it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sound snotty by going, well, what do you think you should do, and do it. I don't want to sound snotty like that, but I'm almost feeling like...
You can. Okay. I mean, you don't have to be snotty, but you can say something like, okay, these kinds of questions, you guys need to be maybe you need an office manager. Okay.
And I do. Yes, I've been told that will be right now I'm interviewing for 2 positions. That will be my next position I need to get.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to be able to groom it from inside, unfortunately.
Yeah. So I think you tell people, I know that we need an office manager. That's my 3rd hire. In the meantime, I need you to be a little bit more self-sufficient around this. Could you figure this out by looking here, right? Kind of thing. Does that make sense? Okay.
No, it does. I would say that's kind of, after I had done my response, and because I had said, you get somebody to test the fax for you, and everybody's like twiddling their thumbs, and I'm going, well, did y'all guys get the tested fax? Oh no, we didn't know who to call. Well, who would you normally call?
Yeah. No, you have to. Okay, you have to give people a little bit of a nudge there, a little kick in the butt.
Yeah.
Okay. You can do it nicely, but a little kick in the butt. Then I think you need to the legal questions. That's kind of interesting. So generally speaking, do you think your lawyer should know the answer to these questions already, or is it just there's so much minutia that everyone's going to have to go look it up themselves, and it would be useful to have it all in one place?
On some of these topics, I think it would be, because like when you were dealing with deeds, it's kind of like it goes across specialties of my paralegals. It's going from the Medicaid paralegal to the probate paralegal, but yes, they're so incestual at that moment, with that type of a question, And there's certain questions that I agree, attorneys and you should just innately know, 100%, and there's other ones,
The other ones, do they change enough that it makes sense? Like, I'm trying to figure out if it makes sense to document or if it makes more sense to create something like office hours again. I think this we're going to have, legal question, like this kind of stuff, bring to office hours. We'll discuss it, and this is where we need to go, here, I'll direct you over here.
Because the other thing I was thinking about doing with, as you start talking about the office hour idea, if I start to have the office hour idea, what I think might behoove me in my mind here is not to be standoffish, but to have my office hours via Zoom to save them and save the videos into Zoom with, a footnote header, some type of footnote tagging, because then at that point, that's easy. And if it starts to be something that is consistent, if I need to get it transcribed for a policy procedure, I can just forward the video for a transcription, as I'm just thinking in my mind right now.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great solution. There you go. Bada bing, bada bing. Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This is a very interesting process we're doing.
I know. We're working with exactly what's coming up in the moment. So tomorrow, remind me that we need to talk about communication with your husband, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Have a good one. You're welcome.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Everyone's made for greatness, but not everyone executes on it. If you feel like you're hitting an invisible barrier and you're not living up to your full potential, join us at the Unstoppable Woman Income Breakthrough Summit, where I'll show you exactly how to get out of your own way, apply the universal laws to your business, and scale quickly. Learn more and grab your ticket at theunstoppablewoman.com/summit. Thank you so much for joining us for Coaching Uncut. If you loved what you learned today, please leave us a comment and let us know. We always love a thumbs up or a 5-star review, so thank you in advance for that. And if you want to take your life and your business to the next level and it's time to scale, please reach out to us and schedule a consult at theunstoppablewoman.com/next level. So that's theunstoppablewoman.com/next level. See you in the next episode. Rock it out and be unstoppable.